verse 15. And he, this is Boaz talking to Ruth, he says, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her, and she went into the city. He measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her, and she went into the city. And so our thought this morning is empowered by weight. Amen. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm empowered by what I carry. You may be seated. Empowered by weight. Wonderful. That sounds good. I want to get to chapter 3, but I'm going to fast forward you for the sake of time that this is an account where Ruth is now in Bethlehem with her mother-in-law Naomi. Ruth's husband has passed away, of course, and they've gone back to Naomi's town of Bethlehem. And so then we find here, like I said, I'm fast forward because I want to get somewhere, that Naomi gives Ruth an instruction so as to be able to find her a husband. For those of you who are unlearned about spiritual parenting, Ruth is an excellent book to draw that principle from. Because you find in this chapter that Naomi gives Ruth an instruction, and her response is, I will do all that you tell me to do. In conjunction with what she said previously in chapter 1, entreat me not. Where you go, I go. Where you lodge, I shall lodge. Your God shall be my God. And so she gives Ruth an instruction and says, go into the field, and perhaps the kinsman, our kinsman redeemer, will find you. According to custom, the next relative was supposed to take up the widow.
Yeah, that's right.
And so then the attempt was that she would find her kinsman redeemer, and he would take Ruth up, and she would be married. And of course, this would sustain also Naomi, because Naomi's blessing was tied to Ruth.
All right.
Should we get that? But Ruth's escalation was tied to Naomi. And so then she sends Ruth, Naomi sends Ruth into the field where the kinsman redeemer is. And he sees her and he speaks to her. And she has gone there with an instruction from Naomi. And the instruction was, Ruth, stay there all night. Sit at his feet. Take your veil and lay across his feet. Because that was symbolic that she was saying, I'm available. And so then it says at midnight, Boaz wakes up out of his sleep and recognizes that she is at his feet with her veil covering his feet. And he understood that by her being there, it symbolized that she was saying, I'm open and available to marry. But Boaz knew, CJ, that there was another relative in line prior to him who should marry her. And so to not violate that custom, he does some things in the next few verses that will make sure he keeps her integrity and his integrity intact.
Yes,
and so then, having said that, I hope I've set this stage. So now it is midnight, as I said. He awakes and he sees her. And so now he's getting ready to send her back to Naomi. And so when he gets ready to send her back, he sends her back, the verse says, with 6 measures of barley. So my question is, why did Boaz give Ruth barley? Why did he give her barley and not wheat? Why did he give her barley and not corn? To answer that question, I want you to understand there are 2 reasons. When he sends her back, because it is late, and he wants to keep her integrity intact, he does not want to raise suspicion that this woman, who has the possibility of becoming his wife, to be out walking at night looking as though she's been doing something mischievous. And so then it appears from the fact that she's not carrying barley, because this is the time of the barley season, she's now walking with these 6 measures of barley back into the city in case anyone would see or question, why is she out this time of night? Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? The second reason that he gives her the barley is because he's sending a message to Naomi by the gift that he's presenting to Ruth. Watch this now. Because the gift was to symbolize or to show that he had consented to marry Ruth with some conditions. This barley was an engagement. The barley symbolized his pledge to her. The barley symbolized that he was committed to her. It symbolized that this was a promise that he was making prior to what was about to transpire. And so then she's walking at midnight with this measure, or the 6 measures of barley, in her apron. My next point would then be, why or what caused him to want to fill her apron with the barley? He filled her apron or her mantle with, in essence, harvest. The barley was symbolic of the harvest. I want y'all to get this. The barley was symbolizing that this was a unique time. And so then he sends the barley because not only is it a harvest, he's saying that it's not seed, but it's harvest time. In other words, he sends us with the harvest because he's saying, I'm giving you a down payment that your harvest is about to come in. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And so then, knowing that this was barley season, that this was the beginning of the harvest of the barley, know that had he given her seed, we know that the seed would have had to go through the process of wait time. Y'all don't miss this. You read in Genesis that the Bible says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will never cease. Well, in between seed time and harvest is the wait. And many of us are impatient when it comes to waiting. We're good with sowing, but we're ready to fast forward to harvest. So then by him giving her harvest and not seed, he's telling her, he's sending the message to Naomi, I want you to understand that you're getting ready to step into a season in your life where you won't have to glean anymore from the field. Okay, I'm hearing what I'm saying. Because the harvest, watch this, is not only provision to you, but it also says that I'm getting ready to bless people that's tied to you. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you're about to get blessed. He said, why you say that? It's because we're tied to you. It's because we're in covenant with each other. It's because we're in fellowship with each other. And so as sure as the Lord blesses me, that's him saying I'm getting ready to bless you. As sure as he blessed this, y'all don't miss this, that the barley that is going to be used to fill Naomi's stomach is the same, watch this, is symbolizing the same barley or the same thing, but instead he's saying, I'm getting ready to fill Ruth's womb. Watch this now. Watch this. This is why it's so important that you understand when you see seed and what it represents. This is why the Bible says God gives seed to the sower. And so when he sends this barley to Naomi, he's telling Naomi, this is going to fill your stomach. You won't have to work anymore. You won't have to send Ruth to the fields. You won't have to worry about being full from this point on. But what he's saying to Ruth is, I'm not worried about filling your stomach because I'm getting ready to make a deposit into your womb. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Because mind you, he is speaking to Naomi through Ruth. And so we know this. You say, how do you know this, Pastor? Because when Ruth gets back home, Naomi tells Ruth, sit still. Because she didn't understand, what did the barley represent? This is why you have to have somebody in your life to interpret what God is depositing in your life. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying in this place? Because otherwise, Michael, you will take it as just being what it is, face value. But because Naomi was familiar with, because Naomi understood the language that Boaz was speaking through the barley, this is why you have to understand, your seed speaks. Oh my God. I need you to hear this. Your seed speaks, and this is why you can't take your seed in it everywhere. This is why you can't plant your seed in it everywhere. Because your seed has an assignment. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And so he tells Naomi through Ruth and the barley that, make no mistake, I'm consenting not only to marry her, but also to cause some birthings out of her. Y'all missed it. I'm going to say it one more time. He was telling her, Naomi, I'm going to give Ruth what she needs in the sense of I'm going to be her redeemer. But make no mistake, I'm going to bring forth sons. I'm going to bring some out of your lineage. You say, why is that important? Because there was property tied to their name. That's good. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And so then for her to access it, then she needed a husband. But then, watch this, fast forward. This is why you got to read the whole chapter, the whole book. We know that when Ruth bears a son, the Bible says that the women say, God has blessed you beyond measure and has not left you without an heir. And so then you must understand, when God gives you seed, when God causes you or desires for you to plant a seed, it is because God is not only speaking to who you are, but who you are carrying. I'm going to say that. I hope somebody pick this up. Because you are carrying people in your spirit, in your womb. And so then, remember, rewind the tape. We said that the blessing is not just tied to me, but the people connected to me. So if I get blessed, that means the people within me, the people tied to me, the people that come out of me, the people that are birthed under my ministry, the people that are birthed out of my assignment are going to be blessed also. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Because you have to understand this. He's also saying that by giving this barley, that I want you to understand that I'm placing a significant value on what I'm getting ready to do in your life by giving you something of value. Say that again. Watch this. Boaz gives her the barley. because he's sending a message to Naomi that I'm just not going to give you my word. Because he could have said, go back and tell Naomi what I plan to do. But instead, he sends a message through the seed. Because he's saying, I want you to understand how valuable what you are carrying by placing something in your womb that is of value. So this is why he gives us harvest and not a seed. And so then his management, watch this, his management of his seed, of that harvest, symbolizes how valuable what he wants is in his life. See, one of the things you have to understand, if you want to know, the Bible says it like this: where your heart is, that's where your treasure is. And so what's valuable to us, that's what we spend our money on. Where you spend your money says what's valuable to you. I spend my money on clothes because I love clothes. Some of you may spend your money on hair products. That says that's valuable to you. And so he's placing a value on what he's getting ready to do by giving her the barley. Because he says, Ruth, take this back to Naomi. Because Naomi will understand what it means. Naomi will understand what's getting ready to transpire in your life. Because to Ruth, from Ruth's perspective, oh, he just gave me some harvest, so I don't have to go to the fields. But when Naomi sees it, this is why she fast forward, she says, sit still. And let's wait until the matter is finished. Because when he gave her the barley, and she takes it back to Naomi, Naomi tells Ruth, you be still, because now it's up to what Boaz is about to do. See, when we get in trouble, we don't let God finish what he saw. We get the call, we get a vision, we get a dream, and we take off. But that's why you got to have somebody in your life to tell you, sit still until the matter is finished. And so then, this is where we get to this part. He gives her 6 bags of barley and says, put them in your apron. 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's walking around at night with her apron filled with barley. Watch this. Now, some theologians question how much or the quantity of what the barley was. They can't agree on it. But they all know it was 6 or whatever it was. All right? Now, we're going to deal with the number 6 next week. That's why you got to come back. So when he gives her this barley, understand it was heavy for her. Watch this. You have to understand this very thing. That what you carry affects you. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Because the Bible says that when he lays the 6 measures on her, it starts to affect her walk. Because now she's weighed down with these 6 measures. And so then when God places something in you, it changes you. It changes your walk. But you need to understand this also, Mr. Demetrius. You can't carry what I carry. This is where people get in trouble because they figure they look at what I'm carrying and they think they can carry what I'm carrying because they're looking at what I'm carrying. Not realizing the reason I can carry it is because it was designed for the strength This is why you have to understand what you've gone through is designed for you to be able to carry it. And so when you talk to people who have not been designed to carry what you can carry, they look at you like you're crazy and say, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I wouldn't let them say that if I was you. I don't know what, but you looking at what's in here and not understanding what's in here. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Because I was built to carry the 6 measures. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? This is why people oftentimes get confused, because they want you to carry what they carry, because that's their conviction, that's their posture. Watch this. Remember when the children of Israel were fighting Goliath, and it was time to go fight, and Saul said, put my armor on, David. But when David got ready to put the armor on, he said, I can't carry that. Because this is not what I've been fighting with. And so then you have to understand you can't put on what somebody else is putting on. Just because it looks like you can carry it. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And so then Ruth could carry the 6 measures. Watch this, I need somebody to hear this. It's because, not because this was her first time carrying weight. She had already been gleaning in the fields before. And so then when the Redeemer comes and sees, I'm going to say that one more time. When the Redeemer comes and sees her, he already has known that she's been in the field and been working before. So then what I'm about to put on her, I know she can carry it. He didn't put it on her thinking and hoping and wishing, I hope it's not too much for her. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? This is why you have to understand that you're empowered by what you carry. Because if God would put it on you, that means he knows that you can carry it. And so then she's walking through the city, way down. She's walking through the city differently. So watch this. What you carry will affect 3 things. The first thing it will affect is your pace. Because without the 6 measures, she was good. But then when they put the 6 measures on her, now all of a sudden her pace changes. This is why the Bible says in the book of Hebrews, he says, let us run the race with patience. That word patience means endurance or pace. That's been set before us. Because when you put on the weight that God gives you, then it changes the pace in which you move through life.
Pastor, come on.
See, I need to do something real quick. Can I unplug this? You don't have to come. I'm going to unplug it. I need this real quick. Now watch. Now see. God gave me this, but I picked up this. Watch, Nikki. Because when God gave me this, he had already factored in that based upon the strength in my legs, the strength in my arms, he knew how fast I could move with this weight. So he anticipates, watch this, that I will be at this place at a certain time based upon the weight that I'm carrying. But when I decide to pick up something that God didn't give me, then it slows me down so I don't get to the place I'm supposed to get at the time I'm supposed to get there. This is why the Bible said, lay aside weight. Then so I can now run the race with the pace that I'm supposed to run with the weight that I'm carrying. This is why you have to be careful. What are you picking up? This is why the enemy's job, watch this, the enemy's job is designed to make you pick up something that you weren't designed to carry. That's why the scripture said, you said, my yoke is easy. My burden is light. So why are you struggling? It's because I picked up something
Oh,
that I wasn't meant to carry. And so now we got, watch this. Remember I said, I'm connected to folk, right?
yeah.
So now, what I do, as saints will do, I go call somebody to come pray for me about a weight that I was supposed to pick up.
Yeah. Come on now.
Are y'all hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then you have to understand, this is why the enemy tries to throw so many things at us emotionally, physically, to make us pick up weights,
Yes.
to slow us down. Because there is a destination. There is a destiny. There is a time and a place where I'm supposed to be at the place called there.
Yes, sir.
And so then you have to understand that when God calls you, when God empowers you, there's an expectation that what you carry will not affect your pace to the point where you won't make it on time. Because then, well, I said, you know how saints, we go get a scripture. Don't reply. Well, you know the Bible says in Ephesians, God will redeem the time. That'll have nothing to do with you picking up something that has slowed you down. And so then, when you carry, it's going to affect your pace. This is another reason why, I used to coach track back in the day. And one of the things that you teach runners is you never look. Because even to look there slows me down. And some of us have started looking. What's she doing? What he doing? How he get that? How did she get this? And it has slowed our pace down.
Yes.
This is why you have to keep your eyes forward. This is why you have to set your eyes on the prize. You got to press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling.
Yeah.
Because it's a high calling. Not just a calling, it's a high calling. And so then God gives me this weight. But the second thing that what you carry will affect, it will affect your purpose. Because your purpose, in other words, is the weight of your calling. It is when you understand that what I'm carrying is not just about me. And so it changes why I do what I do. The Bible says in Esther, we quote this verse all the time. We say it all the time. Who knows if thou have come to the kingdom for a time such as this? But let's set the context for that. Esther was put in a position where she could either choose to save her life or save a nation's life. And so then what you carry changes your purpose or the weight. Because now you understand it's not just about me. I'm going to say that again. Because when you understand that it's not just about you, you then factor in every decision or the things that you do. Paul told Timothy when he was writing him, he said, Timothy, give your attention to the exhortation, to the doctrine. Let no man despise thy youth. And he says to him at the very end, he says, if you do these things, it will not only save yourself, but it'll also save those that will hear you. And so then we have to understand as believers that what we are carrying is not just about us. Because if I fail, if I stumble, if I give up, if I throw in the towel, then it affects everybody that's tied to me. This is why if you go back to Hebrews when he says there is a compass of witnesses who are looking down, who are expecting us, who have received the baton to now to run. Because I understand that the race didn't start with me, but it doesn't end with me. And so then if I don't understand what I'm carrying, if I don't realize that I have a greater responsibility to not just myself, to not only God, but to the people that's connected to me,
Amen. Amen.
then I find myself being in a place where I should not be. Because I failed to understand that this right here was not just about me. When Boaz gave Ruth the barley, he wasn't just talking to Ruth, he was talking to Naomi. But he's also, watch this, he was also speaking to his lineage.
Yes.
Oh my God. Let's keep reading in Hebrews. Remember the Bible says that when Abraham gave tithes to Melchizedek, he says it was though Levi was given the tithe. And so then you must understand every decision that you are doing is affecting not just you, but generations beyond you. And so then if you drop what you carry,
Goodness.
if you drop what you carry,
Yes.
if you put down what you carry, then you're not just affecting you, but you're affecting the people that's tied to you.
Yes.
And so then this is why even when I'm exhausted, when I'm tired, when I'm fatigued, when I say, what's the use in carrying this? For what? Why should I carry this? Nobody's going to appreciate me for carrying it. Why should I carry it? It is because I understand the weight of my calling is bigger than me.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not doing this for me, but I'm doing it for the seed that's coming out of me.
Yes.
This is why we have an obligation, saints of God. We have an obligation to think, watch this, because if we're going to think like God thinks, God is a generational thinker.
All right.
He is.
Yes.
God is a generational thinker. So when he's speaking to you, he's also speaking to your heritage.
Yes.
Because when God called me, he didn't just call me. He called my wife, my family, my dog, my cat, everybody.
Yeah.
But he also called my grandchildren. Not to do what I'm doing, but to be affected by what I'm doing.
Yes.
You say, why do you say that, Chad? Because if I don't move here, it has affected Christian. But not only is it affecting Christian, it has now changed who Christian is going to marry. It is changing what Christian is going to go to school. It is changing what Christian or who he will meet at what school. Because the call that was on my life.
Yes.
Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? This is why you have to understand the scope of what you carry. This is why you have to understand why the enemy fights you so hard. He's not fighting because you're not carrying it. He's fighting you because of what you carry. Because make no mistake, watch this. What you are carrying when she was walking through the city at night, nobody else knew what she was carrying. What are you saying, man of God? People won't know what you carry. That's why they'll tell you to throw it down. Because all they saw her was walking like this. They didn't know what was in her veil. But you have to understand what you carry and why you can't throw it down. The third reason is what you carry will affect your perspective. You get this? The Bible says that we are earthen vessels, and we have a treasure in these earthen vessels. And that treasure is for the excellency. It's for the power of God. May show forth that it's not of us, but of God. So wow. If I understand what I'm carrying, then it then shifts what I do, how I do. my perspective changes about myself. One of my old friends back at home, he used to say it like this: don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. And some of us cheat ourselves because we're still trying to figure out, why would God choose something that's frail, fragile, weak, imperfect, marred, scarred, flawed, to put his treasure in? Why would he take this vessel and put something as precious as his power in it? It is because he understands that if I'm able to put this treasure in you and cause something based upon your own testimony, based upon your own resume, that you are flawed, then it will showcase even more the glory of God on your life. And so then this is why my perspective now shifts, because I understand that if God entrusts me with this, because mind you, when Boaz gives Ruth this, he's entrusting her with a harvest to take back to Naomi. But you have to understand that your perspective of what you carry has to change. Because if your perspective changes on what you are carrying, then you understand that I realize that God must have such confidence in me that he would deposit something in me that's so precious and valuable, then I should have the same mindset that God has about myself. This is why some of us are not running, because of how we see ourselves. We don't see ourselves the way God sees us. But if you see yourself through what you carry, then you would understand why you're carrying what you carry. And so then once I understand that, I realize now I can run differently. I run now with a tenacity. I run now with a persistence, because I understand what I'm carrying is so great. And I can't afford. This is why when the angel came down and he saw Mary, he told Mary, thou art blessed and highly favored. Because she couldn't understand, why would God choose me to deposit his son into this vessel? It is because God said, I know, Mary, you're not the best, you're not the perfect, you're not all this, that, and other, but I do understand that I'm deeming you blessed. Y'all missed it. He said you are blessed and highly favored. But then the question may make a person ask, what did Mary do to make herself highly favored? Not just favored. He said highly favored. You have to wonder, did she serve in the kitchen ministry? That wasn't it. Was she on the praise and worship team? It doesn't say nothing about that. Was she an armor bearer? It doesn't say nothing about that. It didn't say she came up to the church and she was an intercessor. It doesn't say nothing about that. It does not say she served on the hospitality team. It didn't say nothing about that. It didn't recollect that she went to the nursing home and visited the sick and the shut-in. It didn't say nothing about that. It didn't say she went up to North Dallas to serve and help those that have been wounded by the tornado. It didn't say nothing of that. So then I have to ask God, then God, what is it about Mary that will cause her to be highly favored? See, if you've ever been pregnant, you understand that when it's time to give birth, the contractions start happening. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Can I just take a time for this moment right here? But watch this. You got to be aware of the Braxton hits. Because those are the false labor pains. My God. Oh my God. And so some things have risen up in our lives that is creating in some of you a persona of being real pain. And it's making you want to give birth prematurely. It's making you want to give up prematurely. It's making you want to throw in the towel prematurely. Because you're feeling the squeeze on your finances. You're feeling the squeeze on your mind. You're feeling the squeeze on your marriage. You're feeling the squeeze in your body. You're feeling the squeeze on your job. You're feeling the squeeze in your family. You're feeling the squeeze with your children. But you got to understand, it ain't time. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, it ain't time. I know you're feeling some pain. And see, the first thing we